Well, hello there again, friends. Today is 4/4/2022, and today is the Odin Project Vlog Day 86. And today's a short video. Today we're doing step 2, or I did step 2, the layout. And it starts off by saying, start by writing out the HTML elements for the sidebar, header, and main content containers. In your CSS file, apply grid properties until you have this basic layout. Excuse me, a little frog in my throat tonight. With that said, keeping in mind this is what our end product is going to look like a long time down the road. But today we're going to focus on just getting the header in place, the sidebar, and the main content, just as we just spoke about. So with all that said, let's hit the editor. So I'm going to go through this real quick. This is obviously subject to change. So I got the boilerplate on there, file going here for the index, and we went through that last time. We named the title, and so I added some basic structure here per the requirements. I have a div class called container, and that's the wrapper for the entire section inside the body. And I have 1, 2, 3 divs. Child divs. One's called header, one's called sidebar, and one's called main content, and each has their respective paragraph tags for header, sidebar, and main content. Obviously those are going to go away. Those are just visual place markers so I can see it on this browser screen, so I can see what the layout looks like. So over here to the CSS. So we start off with HTML and body. We want to zero out the margin and padding that may be existing on the page natively through the browser and through the rendering. So that does that. And then put an extra space in here so it just looks good. So we have a container. So each one of my selectors here has a border of 1 pixel solid blue. You'll see that here. If I highlight this one, you'll see all of them. And that's because this was a tip from down here that said when building a layout, apply background colors or borders to your containers to help you visualize your grid. So I think this is easier to do, in my opinion, for right now anyway, than keep toggling on and off the grid in DevTools, because this just hard codes it in and it's easy to see, and it doesn't go away when you refresh. Like DevTools, sometimes when you refresh the browser, it unselects the grid, so you have to go back into DevTools and click it every single time. I'm sure there's a workaround around that, but I just took their advice on the hint, and so that's what this border is. So these are just small lines that are showing me my borders. So back up here we have containers grid. So container, as you know, is the wrapper for the entire viewport. We're going to make that a grid. And we're going to set up grid template column, 1FR and 4FR. So we're going to have 2 columns. One is 1 fractional unit, and the second one is 4 times the size. We have a gap of 4 pixels. I just put that in there. It's again, all this is technically subject to change by the next video, as you know, as you work through things evolve and things change when you work through your projects. So right now we're just going to go with that. So header file, or the header selector, same thing with the border. And then we have grid columns 2, 3. So I want to span it from 2 to 3 because on our example here would be column line 1, column line 2, column line 3. If you can see my mouse, I know it's small, but so we want to start at 2 and span to 3, as you can see there, because we don't want the header to go all the way over. We just want to start and butt up against the sidebar. That's why that exists. And then the sidebar is the same thing. We have grid row. Instead of grid column, it's grid row. So I did grid row 1, 2, 3, meaning that for right now, since I did not set a grid template rows up here, and that's kind of by design, because for one, that's how we did it in the last project where we tied it all together. and also because I want this to grow with the viewport, and I don't want to constrain myself to a certain FR. I may go back and add it. I had it in there and it was giving me some weird results, so I removed it for right now. But I may add it down the road. But you'll see here why. That's why I have min height here. But we'll go over that in a minute. So the grid row is 1, 3. So what it does is it says, okay, start here at 1, and then grid row 2 would be here, and then grid row 3 is at the bottom. So that's why it says 1, 3, because I want it to span the entire width of the viewport. And combine that with minimum height is 100 VH, which is the viewport. So this line of code is, and it's also in the main content, as you can see. So these two are going to force the rendering of sidebar and main content to the bottom of the page. No matter how big it is or small, it will grow and shrink with the resolution or zooming in or out. So that's why that's there. And then the only other thing is grid column. I have a grid column 2 to 3 on the main content, and that is because just like the header, I want it to start at column line 2 and end at column line 3, which is the edge of the page on the other side. So that's the same setting as the header. So 2, 3, 2, 3, and then again we got the 100 VH view for the viewport on the height. That makes it always stay at the bottom of whatever screen you're viewing. So now with that said, let's take a look at the browser. So how I normally do it, again, a workflow thing, is I've already done it, so I won't do it again. But if you right-click your index file, you can, if you have live server activated, the extension installed on your Vscode, you can right-click the file and do open with live server, and it will open it in a new tab like this, and it will always update with fresh material. So as soon as you make a change here and save it, it will automatically refresh here. You don't have to hit the refresh button. It'll be like it sounds, live server. So that's pretty cool. So here is all the blue lines, and so there's a little itty bitty change in width. You know what? Maybe I'll change that right now. No, I'll leave it because it looks like we're going to be doing some fading. So I may actually get rid of that gap, but we'll leave it there for now. Looks like I got some updating to do. But anyway, yeah. So you got your sidebar here, your header. Again, this is going to be removed. I just was putting it in there for visual representation. So this looks pretty good. Sidebar, header, main content. This is where it's all going to start. And so this is kind of looks like this is my goal. Well, it kind of does a little bit. I might make we'll see. I might make my sidebar a little not as wide. Maybe I'll change that up a little bit. Change up the because it seems like there might be a little too aggressive on the second column for the FR. Maybe I want to do 3 FR instead of 4. Maybe not. Maybe it's just my resolution. So you can see if I expand it. See how it's responsive. It shrinks and grows correctly, and then also if I shrink it, you'll see it shrinks and is responsive all the way down to the bottom here because we got that viewport at 100%, and or the minimum height, 100% viewport, and that's about it for today. So I won't make this one go any longer. Like I said, this is going to be a short one. So I completed the Step 2 layout. That was just creating that basic layout. So next video, I'll be going over nesting, which is going to be quite a bit more work. I'm going to take it in chunks. Might do smaller bite-sized videos. We'll see. We'll see how it flows and where a good place to stop is. So please like, share, and subscribe for more content, and let me know in the comments section how you guys are doing in your project here for Admin Dashboard. And thank you for all the new subscribers. I see you, and I appreciate you very much and love you all. So with that said, till next time, see ya.